of course, we do have our guest from Crew Home, which is a pretty cool little app. We had somebody on last week talking about property inspections. This one is talking about garbage and being able to take people garbage to and from the street. So we got Cam on. Cam, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Hey,
Good.
Cam, welcome to Show Me the Money. We're going to show our folks the money today. So people, listen up. This is another app. So we're always excited to have, founders, CEOs of companies on who can provide additional sources of income to our independent contractor gig workers. And Crew Home is definitely one of those. I'm definitely going to try it when and if you guys show up in California, but you're already in enough states. We'll talk all about that, but please introduce yourself. Tell us about Crew Home, what it is, and we'll go on from there.
Yeah. So my background, spent most of my career in finance, a corporate job, and quickly realized that was not my career path. So what I did to kind of escape the rat race was invest in real estate. To make a long story short, grew my personal portfolio to 30 rental properties, and actually most of them are on Airbnb. And one of the things that I tried to do and automate in my business, because you can pretty much automate everything with software, but the one thing I couldn't get automated, is going to sound dumb, is I couldn't get the trash cans to the curb for trash day and back. And the reason why that was really a big pain point, I had 30 properties in Phoenix, still have them. It was 300 can movements a month. And when you miss trash day, the cans are full, the guest comes to the property, and now it's just a big nightmare because they're like, where do I put all the stuff I just bought from Costco? It smells like, and now I got to go pay someone $200 to empty the bins. It wasn't working trying to coordinate that job with my cleaners because they live, 30 minutes away. Trash day was all separate, different days in different parts of the city. And then I tried to ask my guest to do it, and it was just a bad experience. I mean, I had a guest tip the can over one time. Trash was everywhere. She got trash juice on her leg, and I got a 1-star review. So my idea was, I need to build a model. I need to build this service, and I can't be the only one having these issues, but I'm going to build this sort of DoorDash style to service and expand quickly.
Yeah, what an amazing story, actually. People don't think about these small things, right? I mean, it could be niche, but it's really, you can build a business on, right? And I'm sure there's millions of Airbnb properties, and then the connection is pretty simple after that. And so there's an app for everything these days anyway, Cam. So you can push a button, a dog walker will show up. You can push a button, food shows up, car shows up. So great idea. So tell us a little bit more about the company itself, how long it's been around, how many cities you're in, and expansion plans.
Yeah, we're relatively new. We're on our second full year of operations. Okay. We've expanded pretty rapidly. You don't really do this in sort of gig marketplace, but we're in 40 metro markets right now, doing about 40,000 stops a month. And we have routes that are available anywhere from most of the major markets in Florida, Texas, Arizona, Chicago, Atlanta. A lot of the major cities right now. We haven't really gone into California yet. But that is on sort of the horizon. But what I think separates us from a lot of other gig platforms and apps is, I've done them all, right? I've done Uber, I've done DoorDash. And the thing, with Uber is, sometimes you take that ride, and now I'm going to be spending an hour, the whole day, an hour and a half away from where I live. Yep. The thing that really separates Crew from the rest of the apps is the fact that we give people the ability to see jobs up to 3 weeks in advance and routes. And I think what separates us as well is trash day is probably the most recurring thing that happens ever. We have very similar routes that happen every single week at the same time. And I think too, our time windows for completion, right? When I go do a DoorDash order, I've got 15 minutes to make sure the food is hot to take that picture. With Crew, you have from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. to take the can out or to return the can. So with very flexible time windows, which I think allows for people to plan really well and also, do other apps, because everyone does multiple apps at the same time.
Right. I mean, like, I know for myself, I've been taking the trash out for the last 23 years in this house in Granada Hills. Trash day is on Monday. Although my son's 15 now, I think he's going to take that job over. But You just Sunday night, you just bring it out, and Monday you put it back in. So do you always look for local folks who are close to the area that they're going to provide the services?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends. We pretty much have a pretty open onboarding process, and so given on any given day, there might be different routes in different parts of the city. So our app, I'll actually show you guys this. Let me share my screen
Please.
here really quick. Let me know when you guys can see.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, so this is just a live view of a route that's going to be in progress later today. But this driver is doing 86 stops. They're going to make $146. This is probably going to take, I mean, this is a pretty dense area in Scottsdale. This is going to take less than 4 hours. So, there's some pretty good pay here to be made, right? I think this person's going to make $35 an hour. But the job is pretty simple. You just click the stop, and then it just tells you, where to, what to do. This is it. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like when you take it out, add the photo. If there's any issues, you can kind of mark them. And then just kind of go on your merry way. And then we give our drivers the ability, as they start to finish jobs, complete jobs, and move up our proprietary ranking system. They can now go into the job board, and this job board is just gonna show, all the way up to March 24th, and today is March 3rd. All the jobs that are available, and then you can kind of see these routes here. So this is a route with 16 stops, the potential earnings, and the estimated hourly rate.
Okay. So, so this is one part of it, is taking the trash out when they're full, obviously. And then is it separate pay to put them back on, or is it combined, or how does that work out?
Yeah, the routes are just combined. This route here is going to be a mixture of takeouts and returns that just happen to fall on the same day. So you might not always be returning to the same property.
Okay.
But you're just going to kind of go and just see what's available as routes near you, depending on where you're at or where you're located, and just see what's convenient.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about, obviously, your workers are independent contractors, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And they use their own vehicles, so there's no mileage reimbursement or expense sharing or anything like that. Basically, just like all the other apps.
Yep.
And so as far as onboarding, right? Let's talk a little bit about that. So let's say I want to sign up. So obviously I'll go to the app. I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple, like all the other ones, because all our community understands how to onboard. So, but with the other services, as you know, there's a background check and this and that. What is the process with Crew Home?
Yeah, we do the same thing. I would say ours is probably a little more involved, just because we like to make sure the quality stays high. I think the difference with Crew is the fact that, when you have 300 DoorDash orders at noon in an area, you need 300 drivers, like for all 300, right? Maybe they'll stack a few. The thing with Crew is we might have 300 stops in a day in a market, but we don't need that many people. We might only need 10.
Okay.
Right? So we are a little choosier, but you'll onboard the same way as you would any other app. And then we take it a little step further. We'll call you, kind of walk you through. There's training videos. There's a few steps, and then we'll unlock that first sort of mini route that you can take. And as you sort of just progress through, it's gamified like every other app. It unlocks the next tier and next level and more routes and higher pay. So, but I think we hang our hat on the fact that this is probably one of the more simpler gig apps. The fact, you just drag the can in and out. But our pay averages probably anywhere from 30 to 35% above what you'd see standard on like a DoorDash or Uber.
Well, plus you drive less miles, I'm pretty sure, because all the the work or the sites of the work are pretty close to each other. So because Uber and Lyft have a tendency of sending you to Timbuktu once in a while, and then then you just can't get back after that. So
well, what's nice is you can see where you're going to go before you take the route. So like
the navigation is just through the app, right? Does it give you, or does it tell you? Do you basically put the stuff in order? Like, okay, you hit this house first, and then they go there, just like Amazon Flex when you're delivering packages?
Exactly like Amazon Flex, yeah.
Okay. All right. So I just, while I'm talking to you, I'm just, since I'm going to be doing it when you come to California, I'm thinking, okay, there are some homes, maybe some of your Airbnbs are like that. Maybe they could be condos, HOAs, locked doors, keys. I mean, for security, safety reasons, I'm sure a lot of your Airbnbs are, the side gate maybe is locked. So how does the driver have access to that? Like, is there a code? Is there keys? Or how does that work out?
Yeah, it's just the information is displayed on the app within the property, and
Okay.
all these owners know, especially for Airbnbs, that they've got typical maintenance guys, pool guys coming in. So same sort of
Okay.
thing, right? Where if there's a garage you need to get into, there's a code or within a gate. But generally, I'd say 95% of the time, the can is just outside the gate, so you can see it.
Okay. Okay. And so I'm assuming, let's say in Arizona, where some of your Airbnbs are, different neighborhoods have different trash pickup days. I'm assuming. I don't know. It's like this in my neighborhood, but obviously the app organizes that, right? So it won't put up a job that's for maybe a different pickup day on the same day as it would be with another house.
Correct. Yeah, everything is organized for that day, whatever. If it's a return and a pickup for two properties, but they're close by, it bundles it together for you.
Okay. All right. So how many, you said you're in a lot of metro cities. Let's just go through a few of them because our audience is from all over the nation. So let's, if you have all of them, then just go ahead and rattle off.
Yeah, our densest markets right now are the Phoenix Metro, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, all the way up to West Palm Beach, Bradenton, Sarasota, Tampa. Let's see. Testing my geography now. Destin's a big market. Orlando, Tucson, Flagstaff, Sedona, Atlanta, Chicago, Traverse City, Michigan. Like
Okay.
we're kind of everywhere. A lot
Yeah.
of Houston, Dallas, Austin, San Antonio. We're planning to expand and double our metro coverage this year. But
Okay.
I would say the great thing is our driver retention is pretty high. So once you start getting onto the app, like we've noticed that we have a lot less fall off just because it's the predictable nature of the job.
Yeah, the drop off rate on the other apps is 8 months or less, and people just quit doing it. I mean, this seems like a simple thing to do. So, is there a rating system, or because with the other apps, as you know, we have ratings, or for example, if I do Uber Eats or DoorDash, sometimes, it says leave at the door. I have to take a picture. So, how does that process work?
Yeah, we require a picture. You can submit up to 2 photos. Usually the photo is like of the can. Sometimes we like try to get a second photo of like the house just so you can see the background.
Okay.
But the rating system is an internal rating system for now. We're still working on kind of rolling that out. We're relatively new to the space.
Okay.
But the one thing is the more jobs you complete, the more days you have in advance to take routes in comparison to newer crew members.
Okay. As far as support is concerned, if they run into some issues or whatever, is it through the app or is it a live person, or how does that work out?
Yeah, you can do it through the app. We have a support line. It's a live US-based agent, and they'll just help you. And we like to catch things at the point of service. If you can't get in the gate, that something's stuck. I've seen it all. Talk to the support person so we can triage with the homeowner.
Did you say you have live support in the US?
We do. Yeah.
Wow.
We will pick up right away.
We don't call Philippines, huh? Okay, cool. And I'm glad you haven't gone to the AI version of chatbots yet. Maybe you will probably at some point. So one last thing I'm going to ask, and then I'll give you the floor to close us up, is this. The payment, you said, is it every week, every 2 weeks? Is it like the other apps? Is it automatic deposit to the bank account? Or can they cash out immediately, like instant cash as they have with the other apps? How does that work out?
Yeah, right now we pay 3 times a week, and then it just deposits into your bank account through Stripe.
Okay.
So you can like have it transfer through Stripe. We are working on an instant pay option because that is a big request we get. But yeah, we're still relatively new, but trying to keep up with the technology upgrades with the demand of the service, because we've got so many customers trying to onboard with us, which is great for density.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, 3 times a week is plenty, because you know, a lot of drivers do cash out multiple times a day, which I think is a complete waste of money, but then it's per need, I guess, per their need. So we have a couple of minutes remaining. I'll give you the floor. Close us up. I like the idea. I really do. I think it's an additional income source for a lot of people. By the way, in all the cities you mentioned, are there waiting lists? And at the moment, how's it look? Like, you don't want to also oversupply the market, right? How does that part look at the moment?
Yeah, I would say anywhere in any major city in Texas, sort of more like the Fort Lauderdale, Miami area is where there's a lot of like open opportunity. But the thing too about our app is you'll be able to see 2 to 3 weeks out in advance. There's a lot of stops and routes that are available regardless of the markets. So I would say just stay on top of our app, www.crewhomeapp.com. And then on the App Store, it's Crew Home. And you can plan your weeks out in advance. I would say there's probably less day of stuff because people are taking it in advance. But if you like to plan and you like to know where you're going to be and you can kind of mix it in with some of your other gig work, come on our app and go take something a week or two in advance and start having some more consistent scheduling for your gig work.
Yeah, folks, all the links and the contact info is in the show notes, so you can go check that out. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and I'm pretty sure you're bringing on more and more demand, obviously. So first you bring on the demand, then you bring the supply on, and then meet the demand. Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and for our folks to just look into it at least. And so go ahead and check it out, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, because we're always saying, right, multi-apping is the key. You got to multi-app, and because do you deactivate drivers too, by the way, like DoorDash and Uber Eats do?
We will if a driver misses or doesn't get a schedule or just cancels last minute is one of our big things. Just because we know we can plan in advance so much for this, so we are pretty strict on that. But the drivers who end up staying with us stay for a long time.
Okay.
One other thing too is I'll say is we do a lot of direct text offers as well. So our system will, it's kind of nice. You get a text and you don't have to be on the app. It'll say, hey, do you want to take this route? And it's right next to you and you can kind of just click and see. So we make it very easy to take routes.
Yeah. And the app is in both iOS and Android, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, here's Cam from Crew Home. Keep us posted, and we'll have you back on again for an update and once your expansion plans are in order. And thank you for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.